Hello my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, a big warm welcome. I'm pleased you could join me. I'm working on some bits and bobs for my latest journal. So, before we get into anything, I'm going to do a little bit of prep work. That's why I was holding a spoon as I first said hello. Because I've got some trims that I'm going to need. If not in this video, at some stage, I'm going to need some of these to not be white. These I could never get coloured from the lady that I get them from. But it ain't no drama because I always colour my own. So, you've seen me using my homemade alcohol inks that I spray or dip and that. But I just thought I'll do these a few bits now at the beginning because it's a beautiful sunny day outside and I can dye these, get them dipped and then hang them out on my little line and they'll dry pretty quick. So I've got my cheap coffee that I only use for coffee dyeing because I drink coffee and I won't use my good stuff just for coffee dyeing. It's not worth it, so I buy a cheap one where you get a great big thing for like £1 in the pound shop. It don't taste too bad actually because I have drunk it before when I've run out of my own coffee, but yeah, pretty much I save it for coffee dyeing. So let's see. They won't be as dark as this once the colour runs out of them, but I might add a little bit more water because I don't want them brown, but a nice coffee dyed coffee colour. That's what I want, like a nice beigey milky coffee colour. So the water, once they drip dry on the line, they end up a lot lighter than what it looks like at the minute. But I want some of this trim. It's lovely in white as well, but it's so handy that I get it in white and then it ends up any colour that I want it to be. The same with these flowers as well. We'll do a few though because I've got a big fat journal to get through. Right. And I've got another reel of this in white, so I might as well do the whole thing of this little one. And there is enough coffee. We don't have my hair in there, look at that. Big long hair. And then I'm going to pop these on the line and hopefully be using them by the end of this video, or a little way through if they dry in time. So I shall be right back. Right, so I've got all them out on the line. They'll probably be dry in no time at all, right? And just before we jump in, I just want to do a little quick thing showing something to, like how I do, you know, like with my card and I cut my little corners off. Hello Rhonda, love. I've had a request of what I did with it. Right, so this is for you Rhonda. Hello, welcome. I'm really pleased you've joined us here. And yeah, for you and anyone else that wonders, I just look on the card, right, take an old card, this bingo that I used to go to. They've changed hands now, so this is no good now because it's not even that bingo wall anymore. It's been so long. So if I wanted a little tiny tag, I'll just cut off like that much, right? And then when we've got our little thing, we can do that, and the same again on the other side, just lining it up, and then we know that they are identical, alright? So I've just done that. And then this time I want to go a bit bigger, so about there. and then I want to go a bit bigger again, so I'm coming down lower and I'm going in further. That would be for a great big tag. Let's see, I haven't got any scrap kits. Let's get in the thingy. Say if we had like a great big wide tag. Where is everything when you want it? Say we had, yeah, big wide tag. Then that's a nice big chunk off of it. And then, yeah, we've got little, we'll go really little. Little tiny tiny, you know. So they are probably the ends I'd use most, because normally my tags ain't massive. Now and again when they are, I've got that great big one. That don't look that little compared to this one, really. That looks roughly about the same size. But it don't matter, I've got plenty other plastic cards that get sent in the post and whatnot. But where's the one that I've been using lately? It is. Right. So yeah, I've got the little one there and the great big one, and then that's like my medium and medium towards large size tags. So you can see that's well, there's not a lot of difference in that one. Yeah, that one's a lot bigger than that one, but yeah, it's handy to have, you know. So Rhonda, that is it. It's that simple. You can take your time more than I have to sort of work out exactly where you want to make the cut, which is what I did the first time around. But well, this is about 10 cards in, because I seem to lose them. I think I throw them away with scraps, or do you know what I mean? I just think I end up losing them somewhere. But you've always got a symmetrical tag if you're using a little guide, and it's so easy, isn't it, as you've seen. So, I want to work on some few bits for the journal that I'm working on. Now, I found in my stash these, right, a couple of these. They are like place cards for weddings and that. I think you buy them in places like the pound shop. I don't know if I bought these or if I was gifted them. I can't remember. I do know I have seen them in the pound shop. And look, you get cute little cards as well to match. But I don't want the big number 6, which is on both sides. And I thought it would be nice that this could slip into a journal and be like maybe a little notepad or something like that. I really love how this looks. I think I fancy though, you know, like with a swirly whirly, when you do the string and you wrap it round your little circle, but then I'd lose this. I could reattach maybe. So I would have that one, but then the heart would be upside down. Yeah, no, I don't like that idea anymore. It's not what I want. Right, so not that big. Got some scraps of this old scrapbook paper, which was all like, the whole thing was like newspaper. It's lovely. Years ago I bought it. I don't even know what it's called or whether it would still be available anymore. But I wasn't sure if I wanted to go sideways with a pad or the right way up. But I'm thinking the right way up. So I do like these pennies here. There was some lovely images in this. But yeah, like I said, I've had it so long and I can't remember where I got it, how much it was, how many pages. I don't think there was many pages, to be honest, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'm just going to make a mark there, and we don't want to cover our heart, so probably about there. And then we'll cut that off and see what we're left with. And if it's okay, we'll do the same again. So let's get that and make sure we're in a straight line. Come over a little touch because we wasn't. And right, and then we want to lose the bottom bit. And so I hope everyone is well and staying safe and staying out of bother and that. It's a tough old time, isn't it, at the minute? But you're better off staying safe, even though I'm going a bit stir crazy now and starting to get a little bit fed up. Even though I don't even go out that much, you know. So how it must be affecting yous that are out and about all the time is beyond me, because yeah, I don't go out that much and I'm doing my own head in now. Right, yeah, I like that. It covers up the 6 nicely, and it's a base that what we can add to, because it's quite neutral and that, so we can ink around that and have it on. I think I fancy the corners rounded, because I just like the look better. If I don't like it, I've got a few bits of the same bit. This must have been my least favourite bit, because I've got a few strips that are the exact same. Now that corner don't look great. Let's come in again. Right. But I do like it, because it is just like newsprint, and yeah, it's cool. Right, yeah, I'm quite happy with that. We're going to have to do the same on the back. I'm not sure yet whether I'm going to have it stuck in. I don't think I am. I think I'll do a pocket that I can slide it into, maybe the back bit into with the pad. So I won't do the notepad really thick, just a few pages. And then the top bit maybe out of the pocket. That might be a nice idea. Or a nice deep pocket, like a deep lace or something that the whole thing sits into. But we're going to need another piece. The bottom bit, so what we just had would be handy, but I can't see what I've done with it. So this is another, look, the exact same strip. And we've got a nice image there. And this looks like it's the right width. Maybe, yeah, pretty much down to a mil or so. So we'll cut it. Right. Well, it's roughly the same as this. Oh yeah, look, and there's the bit next to me. I'll do that because it's the exact same width in it, because I cut the width first. So there we go. And yeah, welcome to all you new subscribers. My dear friend Dawn, as if she's not been kind to me enough, you know, she gave me a little shout out on Instagram. And I had some new subbies come over, so that's really nice. And then also, people that have been either watching or participating in the colour challenge have found me. You know what, my other dear friend Amy, Crafty Cat, that little challenge that she's been running, I've had a few people that have seen me there in October. I'm just grabbing ink clubs. So big warm welcome to you. I really am pleased that for you to join us. It's I do love to have a little chat with everybody, my subscribers and that, different ideas that they might have, or questions, or just sharing just info about ourselves, you know. I love it when I have comments and we have a little natter, and I've made very, very dear friends through that, just like I've commented on them or they have me, and yeah, then you start up a little conversation. Before you know it, you've got a lovely brand new mate that you didn't ever dream that you would have, you know, that you might be miles away, you might be on the other side of the planet, but you've got a common love of creating, or just collecting junk journals. Some people do, you know, but yeah, we all have a common crafty love, otherwise no one would be here. And yeah, it's just really lovely to get to know people and to share all your different sort of little ideas or comments and things. I love it. Right, so I'm going to have that like that, and then the same with the other one on the back. So I'll just use my glue stick, and I really love, this is my second favourite kind of glue stick, right, but it really does the job, and that, it's fine. I've tried before where you buy in bulk, like a pack of 6 for £1 in the pound shop and things like that, and they was just rubbish, you know. I've even tried like different brands on, like that I've bought through Amazon, like a bit better than the pound shop ones, but they still weren't all that. I really like this. And the only other one that I've ever got that I use is the Yoo-Hoo one, which was my ultimate favourite. But it's quite dear now. The first time I got it, I picked it up in the pound shop. And normally the pound shop will have either a big one of these for £1 or 2 of this size for £1. Or they had at one time, not near the art and craft stuff, round with the decorating stuff, where they've got different types of Yoo-Hoo glue, they had the glue sticks. And I thought, oh, I know they're a good mate, because my mum used to use Yoo-Hoo glue when I was a kid. I've nearly done it upside down. At our dancing school, and that my mum was one of the dressmakers. And she was always sticking on sequins with Yoo-Hoo glue. Not in glue stick form, but yeah, Yoo-Hoo glue in a tube, and them sequins never came off, and we was cavorting all round the stage, doing cartwheels, this, that and the other, and that, and we never lost a sequin. And so when I saw that in a glue stick, I thought, oh, got to grab that. So I did. And it was brilliant. It's my favourite one. This one, as you can see, can go a bit kind of like stringy, and if it's really cold it can go really hard. Well, I never experienced that with the Yoo-Hoo one, but I've not been able to get it again in the pound shop. They only had them that one time. I should have bought them all that was there, but I didn't know at the time. I was trying it as a little experiment, see what it was like. But yeah, they've never had them since. And when I've looked at other places, they're quite a bit dearer for just a glue stick. So I use this one now, and I'm happy with it. Glues and stays glued really well. Whereas those pound shop ones, even Lily won't use them, like my granddaughter in her crafts and that, because she's like, the minute they dry, Nana, the things fall off. Which is what I experienced, which is why I didn't want to use them. But I put them in her craft bits on her desk, and back before I moved, when we both had a desk each next to each other. But yeah, she couldn't get on with them either, so they ended up having to go in the bin, because I weren't going to give them away so that other people could experience rubbish with them, was I? Right, so that bit's done. I've noticed there's markings on here that are already on here. I bought a couple of new sponges. I'm just looking to see. Yeah, because when you start going on to the thing with these square ones, it's you get square marks. Right, but I'm just going in a couple more places just to age it up a bit. And yeah, just some little marks. I'll tell you what I do like to do sometimes as well, is get a cup of coffee, wobble it a bit so it's definitely made a puddle, spilt a little bit, and then sit that onto something. You get a lovely ring. I like doing that. I ain't done that for a while. Right, that's a bit darker than what I wanted, so I've got to spread it out a bit. And getting it a little bit dirtier. I might, at the other end, or round on the sides maybe, use a bit of the darker one at the very... Just, yeah, dirtying it up a little bit. Right, okay, so we've got that done. Now, I think I want to stick something on top, actually. That will, oh, where's that again? Bit at that edge there. Right. Right, let's grab something and put it on top. I really fancy this, but it would need coffee dyeing because it's too white. This was from a lovely paper pad that I had ages ago, and I can't even remember. I do this, see, I use the covers sometimes, cut them up and that, to get the very most out of the paper pad. If there's bits on there that I can use or stamp out, I'll do that. But I did it and then threw away the rest of the falling apart cover without noting the name or make of this paper pack. But I've only got a few small pieces like this. I think this is the biggest, and other bits that are smaller that came with this, but the colours and everything were fabulous. But yeah, I would want to dip that in coffee. Instead, I'm going to use a bit of this, because otherwise I'm going to be back and forth. Right, so I just want to see. I don't want it covering all of it because I do like it. So I don't need this very big at all. We'll just see. If it's too small, I'll use this bit. No, maybe it's still a bit too big because I really like the coins being there. And then, let's see. Yeah, I still have the coins. That is much better. Right. Right. I'm just going over this. It is an off-white, but I thought I'll just go over it, and so I don't get any big ink blobs. That's why I'm dotting it onto my glass plate, and then we go. It's much more subtle than if you just go straight in with your sponge. Right. That is how I want it. Oh, hang on, no it ain't. I want a little bit dirtying up the purples because I've only gone over like the lighter ivory pieces. But yeah. Okay, so around the corners again. And then I'll just grab this one because it's very, very inky anyway, because I want the dark, dark edges around. So I want it that very, very dark that I love from that vintage photo. I really do. And so yeah, I've found that I've been just starting to get really fed up. Last week well, not last week, over the weekend it seemed like, I think after they gave the announcement that we've got another 3 weeks of staying in and then they're gonna review it again, so it could be after that. Like the way they worded it was like, that's just going to be a review and we're going to say the same thing, you know. And I really I must have took it right to heart, because from then I just started going a bit, not depressed, I wouldn't use that strong a word, but yeah, just feeling a little bit fed up. And so, which is why there wasn't a video on Sunday, or one ready for Monday morning, because yeah, I wasn't ready in the head. I didn't I couldn't get my act together, so that's why that was. I have got these in purple, but I fancy using this green because the journal that I'm working on, it's one, I have mentioned it already, it's one with a story behind it. So I'm writing a story which will be unique to that journal for Laurie, who's ordered that journal. So that story will just go in with her journal about the lady who that journal fictionally belonged to, you know, and she was a suffragette and instrumental in the setting up of the East London suffragettes. And yeah, their colours were purple, white and green. So I'm trying to use bits of those colours in my little journal, and yeah, it's loosely based on the life of my great nana. Her name was Lily, like my nan and like my granddaughter. My nan was the first child and she was named after her mum. In round here, well, like back then in the East End, normally like the first boy would be named after the dad, and girls wouldn't normally often be named after the mum. But my great nana was a very strong lady and made up her own mind. She never allowed a man to make up her mind for her. And yeah, because they had a daughter, was their firstborn, she named her after her, because yeah, it was the tradition to name your boys when they came after the dad. But yeah, she thought, no, I'm doing that, my body, my baby. And yeah, she was a very strong lady. Right, so I like that up there. I feel like I want something else in here, and I don't like that with my fingers, so I'm thinking something maybe oval or round. Let's have a look. Right, I've just cut out this shape, a bit of wallpaper, and yeah, it's like an ivory with a glitter kind of raised pattern on it. And I want that in the centre, and I think next to me I've got some words printed out. Hopefully I've got the word notes, because this is just a little notebook, so I'm hoping that I have got that there. If not, I'll print it out behind me. Right, so where's that other one? Just wanted to smudge these lines a little bit. Oh, right, so we would have that there, like that, or it could be going across and coming off. I'm just looking at where I'll fancy the position. See, that is nice, but I could have it that way, coming off slightly at each side with the word notes. Right. I've got some little bits here, so I'm just going to rummage. Right, here we are. I've got my little word, notes. Now, I do keep being drawn to putting it that way, even though you probably wouldn't, because it overlaps, but I'm liking how that looks. But I think I want something on there. put something fancy, but I could just put something like this behind the word notes. Just pull it about a bit at the edges. Right, might need to take a bit off of that and then pull it about again. Maybe it might still be a bit too big, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm going to take a little bit more off, because every time I pull it about I am stretching it again, but it's fine because I want it frayed at the edges. Let's see, I kind of like that. Maybe up a bit, maybe something down here. This is too raggedy, I'll find something else. So I've just got all my neutral sort of off-cut bits in here, and I've put it there and I can't see. No, that's too white, that'd have to be dipped in the thing. That is lovely, but I don't really want to cover that. If I took a bit off, maybe. How much will I have to lose each side? I'll just go in a little bit. Oops. I'm not cutting anything off of there, just to see. No, you would have to. And roughly the same over here. Oh, if the scissors would work, that's it. Maybe then just above, like that, coming out from the bottom of our bit. If I go in a little touch more. Right. Just seeing how the layer is going to work. Yep, I kind of like that. Thinking up here's a bit bare. I can put something there though, and it won't be. Right, so that, I've made a decision, loves. That's where we're going. So, oh, did the camera just move slightly then? Right. What way is a nice way up? Obviously that way. Right. Oh no, maybe up a touch. I don't want it too low. Right. Oh! And then... this up here. And then we've got our little scrap of fabric. And our word. And oh, not upside down. Right, let's see. Slightly offset. Yeah. Right. I like that, but I feel that maybe up in that corner or this corner I might add something else. Right, I found what I think is the perfect flower for our colour scheme and the leaves and everything. I wasn't planning on that. I started looking through this scraps thing for a bit of fabric in a floral kind of shape for a bit of embroidery, but I'm trying to stick that bit down because that bit's going to annoy me when it keeps lifting up all the time. That's it. I'll probably have to do these ones as well. Not that they are sticking up, but just so that they don't get caught on anything. Right. And then, right, that's got some sort of lump on the back that I don't want. Oh, that's going through the middle. But it's mainly glue that I can re-glue. I'm going to cut off that bit, but I don't want the flower to fall apart. So straight away, I'm just going to re-glue that bit. And that's just so all of these bits don't all decide to leave, because I've cut the lumpy bit off the back. But I'm going to get a bit of glue under that bit there as well, just so that it don't start getting caught on things. And I'm going to get a nicer big amount of glue on the back of here, because I don't want it going nowhere. Right, and I thought there, but then I thought more up here, so that's what we're going to do. Oh, once it's permanently glued down from the bottom leaves, then we can fluff up the other leaves. Leaves, what am I talking about? The petals. Silly woman. And just, oh, that one's fell out. I'm going to put a bit of glue down here and push that in. Right. And then that's the outside of our lovely notepad. So all I've got to do now is gather together some scrap bits of paper, and we'll put them inside and get it all assembled. So, before I do that and start cutting up normal paper, I'll just grab my scraps here, and I'll just quickly tidy myself up a bit. Oh, sorry. Whoever's mid-film except me, I do not know, but it makes me feel better. Right, so that's a lovely coffee dyed piece that I could use. Oh, nice bit from Amy's buttons kit that we can use. Oh, and there's some of her torn paper in here. I think I printed off a bit too much for what I was doing, so I can cut one of them bits up. We could have some paper from a paper bag and a couple of other coffee dyed bits. Right, once they're cut to fit, that will be plenty, because it ain't massive, is it? So for the first one, I just need to know the size. Right, that's the perfect depth, and the width will come in a bit about there. Right. So this top one, I'll just leave that nicely to dry. This top one will be our guide, or first one I should say, and then we know where we are. And it ain't got to be exact. You can have different size pieces of paper, as well as them just being different colours. I do like to do that. Right, and yeah, just pretty much eyeball it now. And like I said, some will be a bit wider, that bit ripped, so I'm going to take a bit more off of that. And then I wanted some of this paper bag. Right, so I need to get a straight edge. Well, I didn't have to, but I did. Right. I can't remember how long it looked. How long did they look roughly? Yeah, that's about it. Oh, I can't do that bit. Right. Sometimes that happens with thin paper, doesn't it? It'll catch. If that does happen, do what I just did. Start in the middle and then go to the ends. And it seems to work better. I could use this thinner piece as well if I go in there and take off the torn bottom bit. And we'll mix them all up in a sec. Oh, I wanted that really heavily coffee dyed piece. Right, will I get, I won't get too out of it going that way, I don't think. Oh, come on. Oh, what's going on with my cutter? Sorry, that was the light nearly went as well. It must be me. Right. And maybe it's just a bit shorter. I'm going to cut this into a couple of pieces and have those as smaller bits. That'll probably be enough. Let's see once we sort them out a bit. Right, so I think I'm going to have a purpley bit on top. And we'll have a bit of that, a bit of that. Normal paper. Another bit of this. Normal paper again. And again. And then a bit of that. Right. And so I'm just going to shuffle them, right, and pat them down upside down, so that they're all the same level at the top. Oh, not forgetting the top one. And then you can either sew them on your sewing machine, but my sewing machine isn't out, but oh, stapler's right next to me, so I'm just going to use that. I'm just going to pat them down again because I slightly moved them so they weren't all thingy, and so I'm going to go quite near the top if I can. Yeah, and one in the middle. And then if you only run your bead of glue along there, once you've used up all your notes, and I'll need to take a bit off of a couple of them, then you can just gently peel it off. There will be a mark there, but you can stick another new one in. And I've found I can do that in my journals. I do it quite a bit. Have one journal that's full of things like that, like notebooks and whatnot. And yeah, or just having little notebooks in my handbag that I've made. Right, still a couple of them are going to be too long. Right, let's see if I can cut them at the same time. I might reckon. No. And we'll see now. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so like I said, we'll just put a bead of glue along the top, going over the staples on the back side. Right. And just press it down. And then I'm going to put a bit of trim going across the top to hide our staples. If I'd stitched, like sometimes I like to do like a zigzag stitch or that across the top. Sometimes I leave it like so you can see the stitching. But yeah, my sewing machine isn't out on the table at the moment. It's in a box in the cupboard, only right here. But I'm just looking at what trim I want going across the top. But yeah, it's just easier and handier for me to do this. And where I've put them in a nice neat line at the top, I could use something like that, and that hides the staples and is really pretty. I've also got it in purple. I think I'm going to use the purple rather than the lilac. Just to sort of tie in our flower there and make it all lovely. Right, so I've turned it round and let's get rid of those bits of fluff. I'm just seeing how it's going to sit on the paper because of course we've got this fold. Something like that. Starting with that one, finishing that one. Right, that's nice and simple. And just give us a little trim there. And then it adds our little staples, and yeah, they're so easy to peel off and put your own notepad in once you've used up the one that's in the fancy cover. You can just staple together some more and glue it in the same, and it's a never-ending notepad, which is pretty cool. If you can just, you don't have to keep making yourself a little cover. You just have to refill it, and that be the glue it is. It's so simple to peel off the pad, but it does hold it in. It's not going to come loose or anything, but when you choose to peel it off, you can. Right, and then our staples are covered. I'm just pushing these down a bit under the fold because they'll always end up getting creased up. So I'm really happy with that. I think what I want to do is ink around on the inside, so I only did the outside, but I'd like some on the inside, and then I think we'll put a pocket. And so it's been quite a simple little one, but it's bits and bobs that I want in the journal. And oh, I want it all matching and lovely, and I know I'm using, like, you think, oh god, purple and green, really? But not everything's going to be purple and green. It's mainly going to be ivory colours, like on neutral, coffee dyed kind of colours. And, but yeah, with lovely lilacs like this, and some muted greens and purples. And yeah, lots of vintage loveliness. So yeah, don't be scared off of thinking, oh my god, what's she thinking? But yeah, they are the suffragette colours. So there are some bits of ephemera that I've found that I'm so pleased with. I can't wait to show you. And oh, excuse me. Oh, do excuse me, I do apologise. Right, so that is that. I'm thinking a pocket here. I'm also thinking maybe a bit of trim coming out from under there. So I might go and see if anything's dry on the line. Right, they was all dry, which is fabulous. Now, I could have a bit of that there. And then when it's closed, it'll just be poking out a little bit at the bottom like that. I love that. I'm having that before I change my mind. And where it's coffee dyed, it's all different. Like there's some really light bits and there's some really dark bits and that, and I love that because you've got so much choice then from your plain white bit of lace that you bought or that you found somewhere in your stash that you forgot your dad. That's normally me. Right, so I was just checking that I'm holding it up wrong side up because it's going to be peeking out in the other direction, so we want the right side facing away like that. Oh, I like it. Right, and a little snip this side. I'll just even that up. It looked like it was starting to slope down just a tad, but that is fine. Ah, isn't that pretty? Look at that. I really like that. Right, and I've had a brainwave. Remember at the beginning when I said these come with, like you get these? It's the perfect pocket, isn't it? But I'm going to have to trim it down. I'm going to lose that bit and just have a little pocket there. And yeah, it's the perfect match. I could put something in the middle maybe. I'm not sure if it needs it or not. Cut along that crease. That other bit that I've just cut off will make a lovely tag. And we want to take off, just like say, maybe, oh, that went wrong. I weren't gripping it. Like maybe an 1/8 of an inch either side. No, I don't want it off the top and the bottom, do I? I want it off the sides. What a crazy, crazy woman. I don't know where my brain is sometimes. I think it's all the not getting out or doing anything different kind of thing. It's making me a bit more nutty than usual. Right, so let's see if that fits now. Yes, it does. Right, let's get some ink around that. I want it nice and dark. And I'm just thinking what I want to do to it before I stick it down. Right, so we've got the outside like that. So what shall I do on the inside there? I don't want no bulk because we want it pretty flat so it can slide into a pocket or a like tuck spot somewhere. So I don't want bulk, but the middle could do with something. So I'll put the notepad to one side for a moment. Now, got these little flowers. Right, I've just had a little thought. Right, I thought I could take this die again that I cut there, but this time use, this is paper, like paper thin, it is paper, wafer thin, and I could maybe cut something like that, like where you can see a bit of the butterfly, bit of the stamen of the flower, which we've got poking out of our purple flower, maybe something like that, or there, with the butterfly more, yeah. I'm going to do this, and we'll see how it looks. Right, so this is it. It's adding no bulk at all, because it's really thin from a little 6x6 paper pad, and they're not like the 12x12s, are they? They are just normal, like thin, like copy paper really, aren't they? This is from one that I got in the pound shop, and I've mentioned before this one with all the purples and that, and it's got bird cages, not like the bird cages I had earlier, but yeah, it's got purple pages, lilac, bird cages, bits and bobs like that. I love it. I've bought it and bought it so many times, and every time I use it all up. There's not one page in it that I don't like, and then I buy it again, because I don't really use many 6x6 paper pads often, but this one I just love it, and I've used it so many times on different things. I never make two things the same though. I always make, even if I'm making a couple of things on the go at the same time, they're never the same. I do like to make them just all unique. Right, I like that. It's not too much, but it just takes the starkness from it, and I'll put it probably about there. So yeah, that's a little, you could tuck receipts in it, like if you've got a shopping list, and put your receipt in it till you get home and things like that. It's or just a little bit of extra paper or something if you've written out a list, like your to-do list or something. Oh, you could even, I'll show you in a sec. Right, just choosing my spot. Yeah. Right. You could even take a few little post-it notes and pop them in for little notes that you need to make and that. I do that. That's what I use pockets like these for. Because I'll make a list of everything and then there will always be something else. So, that's our little notepad for the journal that I'm working on. Our Lily of London. Or London Lily. I'm not quite sure of the name yet, but we've got some different bits and bobs of paper in there, and I probably will make another one or two of these that I'll just pop in when I send it. And Laurie, you can peel this off and refill it. You could probably even peel that off, you know, but I'll probably pop cover the staples already for you and on your spare ones, so that when you've used that one, and you can even do it of writing your daily gratitude and that. I was telling, oh, it was Laurie, yeah, funny enough, I was telling her the other day, when my, like, those of you who've been with me a while will know I struggle with mental health issues. I have very bad anxiety. I have had in the past, but not at the moment. Touch wood, so I'm touching my head as well. I have had really bad depression in the past, really terribly depressed. So, yeah, back then, when I was really, really low, I read a book that said, write 10 things that are positive every day, right, and be grateful for them. Like every morning, first thing when you wake up, when you're having your first morning coffee or tea, whatever you have. So, in the beginning I found it really, really hard because I was so low to find 10 things. I made myself. So it didn't have to be like everything that's normally a given. Like if you've got family or if you've got friends, crafting, like, so that's 3 things already. If it was a nice morning and I was sitting there and the sky was blue, that was another thing. If I saw a butterfly or a bumblebee, they're 2 of my favourite things. That was another 2 things, you know, simple things like that. If the flowers in my onion baskets might be blooming, I might have had a really good productive day the day before, and so I want to repeat that, so I'm grateful for that, for yesterday, you know, or just for receiving some positive encouragement from watching a YouTube video that inspired me, you know. So when you're looking at it like that, and it's a really broad spectrum of things to be grateful for, not just things that you've got like physically in your home, like, and or for the people around you, like all little things, you know. And so once I've got into the habit of looking at it like that, like it could be anything that brightened my day, a memory, you know, like I might have seen something and it reminded me of my dad, which is like sort of a double-edged sword sort of thing, because on one side that's really lovely, I've sat there and had a memory about my dad, but at the time, especially when I was in depression, that memory could really trigger the grief. But now all memories to me are good and don't trigger sadness, because I learnt to be grateful that I'd had him in my life instead of sad that I'd lost him from my life, you know. So as well as doing the gratitude thing, it taught me to reframe my thoughts from negative, I've lost my dad, to a positive, I had my dad, you know, and similar things along the way. So I started doing that on like a little, I made myself, it was the very first, you couldn't really call it a journal, a junk notebook, you know, where I tried out some little techniques of things that I'd seen, and then after that I was so happy with it and I filled it up within no time at all. And so then I've always got something that I can get out and look at and see what I was thankful for. And when you are having a low day, that can lift you up, like you've got that stashed away somewhere. And then you could do another one, and that's what I did. I made myself a big full-size journal and I went for it. That first journal I ever made, I weren't taking no prisoners, I weren't going to cut any corners. I was so determined. I made myself a great big chunky 5 signature curved spine. It was a hard cover with I made book plates. I went for it. It was a lovely great big journal. Obviously it was my very first one, so there were things that came out better than others, but I could do that because I was in a much better frame of mind from using a little tiny notebook like this to teach myself all over again in adulthood that things that pleased you maybe as a child, those little things, you know, like a butterfly and things, or a nice blue sky with fluffy clouds, things like that, that you can appreciate them again, because I'd lost that in the depression. So that being said, now since I started making journals, got much more back into creating artwork, doing mixed media stuff. Once I started focusing my free time on doing things like that, it changed my life. And then I started YouTube, and I've done this and I've said it from the off, it's changed my life so that I don't even kind of recognise that person that I was when I was so in the depths of a really bad time. And at that time I couldn't recognise the positive person that I'd once been, you know, so I cut myself off from everybody, my old workmates and like old schoolmates and that. I just cut myself off because I felt that I was such a different person. But now I've grown again and I'm into a different person again. I didn't go back to being the same as I was because of my experiences, you know. So you never go back, you're always moving forward. And so if you are going through a bad time, or if you're struggling with this lockdown, with being separated from your loved ones, remember that it's these times when you're not feeling 100% tip-top that give you room to change and grow and become something better, and learn from all of those things that made you feel a bit low, or that have made you feel a bit lost. And it's those things that teach us to find our way again, and find a better way, a new way, a way to be a better person. And so, yeah, just a little tip there, really, because it helped me, and it's just a nice little use for something as simple as this. If you make it pretty, the minute you get it out, you're a little bit cheered up, because you think, I made that, you know. And like I said, I made a little booklet that way round, and I sewed in the signatures and really did, like, I put little bits of trim like this and this on all the pages, and it made me feel better. So thank you all very much for watching. Rhonda, I hope I did explain this okay in the beginning of what I do. I know I only did it a quick rush through. And I'll be back with something very soon. So stay safe and well, stay wonderful, and yeah, just stay positive, okay? It won't be forever. We'll all be back to normal before you know it. But yeah, again, just before I go, another quick thing. we're stuck indoors, you can be getting a bit sick of your own company and that, you know. So find something little and positive to do, a little project that you know you can do. Don't set yourself up with something massive before you've done something little, you know. And it helps reframe your thoughts and let you know that you are wonderful, okay? Because you all are. Love you loads, be back soon. Bye, loves.